Hi everyone, I'm Neizvestnaya, leadership and executive coach, and welcome to our success stories interview series. Today it's my great pleasure to introduce you to Regina Miles, a graduate of transformational leadership program, and she kindly agreed to spend some time with us and talk about her journey in the program, about her successes, insight, discoveries, results. Welcome, Regina.
Hello, everyone. Hi.
Hey. So let's start with some introduction. Tell us about yourself. What is it that you do?
Okay. Hi. I am Regina Miles, and I currently live in North Carolina in the United States. And what I do is I work in healthcare, and I've been in healthcare for about 15 years now. I do revenue cycle, patient access, patient accounts receivables, and I've also worked in retail. I did retail management for a little while, and also I do interior design as my own personal passion.
Oh, okay. Awesome.
Yes.
Yeah, so you have your creative side, which you actually realize in your interior design venture, right? And also
Yes.
you are an empathic leader, right? So you work in the industry where people are service oriented, and I know that it's
Yes.
really big strength of yours. And that's, I think, actually how you started the transformational leadership program, because transformational leadership program is the program for heart-centered empathic leaders who want to transform the way they lead, and who are ready to step up into their true power. And I believe that the world currently is in need of such people. So tell us what brought you into the program. If you can look back at about, I think, 6 months back, right? So what was
Right.
happening at that time?
Yes. You're right. It's been about 6 months. I guess the part of my life that brought me to the program was I've worked in the professional arena for many years. I've gone to college. I have gained multitude of skills and have worked in a variety of roles and have mastered technicality in many roles. And what I was finding was that my career wasn't moving or progressing in an upward way that I had envisioned for myself. I really envisioned that at this point in time I would be in a management level role. I would be leading a team, and I'd be a rock star manager. But it's not moving that way, or had not been moving that way, and I began to get very frustrated and feeling disappointed in myself. I noticed people around me seemed to be moving, and I was not. So that's what brought me into researching to figure out what were my blocks, or what was causing my path to kind of plateau. And so coaching, I'll be honest, it was new to me. It wasn't a term that professional coaching, leadership coaching was not something I'd heard of or was very familiar with. I think the first time I ever heard of life coaching was years ago on a TV show called Nip Tuck. I don't know if anyone remembers that show, but one of the final episodes, one of the main characters announced that she was a life coach. And I remember thinking, oh, what does that mean? What is that? But I didn't take the time to do any deep research on it. Just didn't seem anything important to me. But with the point of my life, about 6 months ago, I started digging to figure out what kind of help did I need, and who could help me. And that's what led me to finding Maria's program and finding coaching.
Do you remember what were the main priorities for you before you started the program? So what were some coaching goals that we discussed in the beginning?
Some of my coaching goals at the beginning was to, I guess, have this huge, amazing change in my life almost instantaneously. I thought I'd join a coaching program, I get some answers, I have some, develop maybe a few new tools and get some new scripts and steps to follow, and everything would just magically change and my life would be just completely different. And that's what my immediate goals, that's what I saw was going to happen. However, it does not happen that way. And looking back, I realized it's best that it doesn't happen that way. The process is internal, and there are micro shifts that happen along the way in how you think, how you feel, how you process things. And with those changes, or with those micro changes, they become more permanent than if everything happened just instantaneously. You wouldn't shift completely just yourself into someone new, into a new habit, into a new way of being. So my immediate thoughts were that it was just going to be an immediate change. After I began to realize it's not what's happening, my goals changed, and my goals became to become more aware of myself, and to become more aware of how I'm processing things as life continues on for me, not just only today, and not just only as I'm in the program, but as life continues for me.
I'm glad that you're mentioning this internal landscape, right? It's actually where we start, and the first part of the program is a lot about looking inside, right? And then as we build all the necessary muscles, as we can call them that, then we go into that more behavioral change thing, where we start to take actions to actually achieve the results that are important. People who are in the program. So when you were talking about these internal shifts and these micro shifts that you were describing, could you maybe give us some examples? What were, for you, what were these shifts about? So what was the focus of your attention? Where actually you've been putting your efforts into? What type of internal work you were doing?
Okay, for me, it would look like not avoiding a difficult or challenging conversation or situation. Normally, my old way of being would have been to shy away and hide from a difficult situation, to kind of play small and not even step into an area to deal with whatever was going on. A good example is that at work we have a new director in my department, and I needed to express some things that I felt were very critical with how my role was being handled, and I wanted to get clarification. I wanted to express what I felt my views were, from understanding how the role was supposed to go, basically what my function really was, and what my aspirations were. And normally I would have been too afraid to open up and discuss what my dreams were, and I didn't do that this time. With Maria, I want to say thank you, Maria, for helping me with that. You helped me to get to a place of realizing I had the internal power to do it. I had the strength to do it. It wasn't about being perfect. It wasn't about saying all the right words, but it was about speaking honestly, speaking with respect, and speaking with a personal authority, and really expressing to my director what I wanted, what I needed, and the support I was seeking from him, but what my goals were. And being able to have that conversation, I believe, changed our relationship. It absolutely made it definitely more professional. He understands exactly what I'm seeking. And I felt that was a huge improvement, benefit for me, and that came through coaching. Had I not been through the coaching, I don't think I would have been able to step beyond the fear of having that conversation, and I may not have had it, but I did have that conversation. I'm very proud of myself for doing so.
Yes, and I remember that was a big breakthrough, right, that we celebrated. And several things that you mentioned, I just wanted to highlight them. So not only you had cultivated the courage to actually have this conversation, and then structure it in a way that actually served you in the long run, right? So you were able to shift your relationship with your director to the new level. You also were very aware of your needs, right? And so what your goals are in the organizations, and how in the organization, and how to bring it forward, how to bring your vision forward. And that's a place of power, because you step out of that helplessness cycle, right? And of that cycle, I don't know how to deal with that, nothing changes, etc., etc. But rather that you actually become an active co-creator of your situation, of your career, of your relationship with your director, etc., etc. And that's a very different position, right, from where
Yes.
initially the whole process was.
Yes, it was usually originally my thoughts were it would just happen. People, I guess it's kind of a hope that they can read your mind. They can read your mind through the demonstration in your work, but that doesn't always speak what you're really wanting to say. You know, being a hard worker is a great thing, and I think that that demonstrates your what you're bringing to the position, but it doesn't speak about, it can't speak about what your goals are like your words do. And so being able to speak the words was more powerful than just doing the work, working hard for years, yes, for years demonstrating, but still never really, that wasn't saying what I needed. So having the strength to say what I needed was the biggest shift in this area for me.
Yes, and it allowed you to create this whole new just a new brand for yourself in your organization, right? Because as you said, just working hard is not enough to actually to get to the point where you want to get in your professional life. It's essential, of course, to do that, right? But there are many other pieces to that, including visibility, including how you position yourself with others, and including how you manage your own power and how you are able to be in really powerful and encouraging conversations with people who are in your team and with people also who supervise you, with your directors, managers, etc., etc.
Right. Exactly.
Yes. Thank you for sharing that example. I really appreciate that. So confidence and being able to hold the space for these assertive conversations, as some of the things that you already mentioned. What were some other internal shifts? What were some other things that you were working on in the first part of the program?
Some other things that I was working on, a lot of it really dealt with self-confidence. Another example is there were 2 leadership positions that came available, and I felt, in my head, I was thinking, oh, you're not qualified, you're not smart enough, you're not, you don't have the skills, you don't have the whatever. I kept always, my internal language would be, you're missing one thing. It was always just the one thing I'm missing, and couldn't put my finger on what one thing was. But I realized the only way to really demonstrate that when I said I'm interested in being in leadership and stepping beyond the fear of being rejected, I mustered up the courage. The program helped me to see that the value in being courageous. And so I did apply for the 2 roles and had my interviews, and I was nervous through all of it. But I've even still felt very proud of myself stepping into that space and having those interviews. I'll be honest, I did not get the positions. And at the time, my natural response was to feel disappointed, and to the internal chatter, comes in. Oh, see, I told you, blah blah blah. But with the program, you learn to step outside of that chatter and really see the success in having stepped into a fearful space and going for it. Had I not stepped into that space and went for the 2 roles, I still would have had the fearful chatter, but I wouldn't have demonstrated any kind of efforts in recreating my life. And I'm glad that I stepped into it. Today, I can honestly tell you, I am really at peace with not getting the 2 positions. I'm at peace because I have fully accepted and I truly understand that those roles just are not for me. It wasn't a matter of not being smart enough. It's not a matter of not having what it takes. I have the drive that's already been proven. I have the skill set. I have the intelligence. Those roles just are not for me. And as I look at the ones that are in the roles, I see their struggles, and I realize those are things I really don't want to deal with. So I'm actually in a space of thankfulness that I didn't get those roles. I do know that the right role is there, is waiting for me, and I will find it, and it will be a success when I'm there. I'm very pleased with myself that I stepped into that difficult space and went for it. I look at it as real life interview practice, interview preparedness, and that makes me even more prepared when the right role comes along and I have that right real interview. So I'm very pleased with myself.
Yes, and so the shift that you describe is that shift from kind of just staying within your thoughts about of self-doubt, right, to actually acknowledging them and actually still taking actions, not waiting, not hoping, but taking committed actions, and then look at the result and accept it, and then learning something from this, and then actually regrouping and having a new action plan in place, what is happening, which is happening for you right now, right? And
Yes.
not staying stuck in that place of resentment or that place of fear and staying there for days, months, and sometimes even years, right? But rather having this flexibility to continue to do and to make the steps towards your vision, towards what's really important for you. And that's the skill that you have with you through all your life. It's not something that you just learn it and then you forget it, right? It's like a muscle, so you build it, and now you have the this muscle to continue to make the steps that are aligned with your vision, with who you are, and this will inevitably bring you to the position that is truly yours and where which is the best match for you at the moment. Okay, sounds good. Okay, anything else that you remember from the first part of the program? What were some of the other things that were important for you?
Yes, from the first part of the program, the things that I remember were the meditations, the mindfulness practices. Those were new tools to help me process my emotions throughout the day. And each week it made me really look at what was I experiencing, where did the emotions come from. It was always more than just that present event. It was always tied to a previous situation that happened. It could have been many years ago, but the root would always lie in the past. That area, something that hurt me or disappointed me, or where I felt judged or let down. But the new the program at the beginning, really early on, helped me begin to sort through that and not. And in time, you learn to not hold every event as so guilty. Like this is the first time I'm feeling this, and this is the reason why this emotion exists in me. But to realize that it lies somewhere else, and to get connected with the beginning of that wound, basically. But having those tools makes me now be able to stop more readily and process the situation versus in the past. I would normally just run with the emotion, but now I do stop. I take the time to meditate. I take the time to journal, to note what's going on within me, and I do so at work when I'm at work, and which is better than just getting stuck in that train of thought and long chatter that just can go on if you're not careful. And I want to say thank you for bringing up the word resentment, Maria, because that is an issue that I had struggled with for many years. And I honestly can say I know that it's not magically gone, but the fact that now I'm more aware that that's the process I normally have been taking when I'm dealing with a difficult situation or something that didn't go my way. Now, looking back on the previous example I just gave about not getting the 2 roles, I don't carry the resentment I normally would have felt for not receiving something that I thought I should have gotten. And that's a huge one for me. Resentment can be very heavy within the body, and to know that I'm releasing that is a huge relief. And I'm thankful that I'm absolutely working on that and releasing resentment.
Yes, and that actually gives the space to all this energy, right? To get it back to yourself. So it's not draining in all these difficult emotions, but rather you have the access to it. And then you can actually redirect it to that inspired and committed actions to follow your path and to do the things that are really important for you.
Yes, absolutely. So I'm excited about that. I'm excited about having, like you said, the opening that space for more positivity as I grow and develop more new tools. Um, I'm I'm happy that that space now is open to be able to do that.
You were going through the program with some other amazing women, right? And so how did you find the group environment, right? So what was there for you? I know that it was also something new, and for a lot of people it's new, being able to have individual coaching and group coaching as well. So what was your experience with that?
Yeah, the group coaching was pretty new for me. It was at the beginning, you know, you feel a little nervous because there's other people who are listening to your story. And if you're someone like I was, and sometimes I'm still a very private person, you may not be quite ready to just open up your heart and let everyone know what's going on. But in the group sessions, you're also listening to other people speak from their heart, and they're telling their story as well. No one's on the group sessions just to hear. Everyone's there to share, and everyone's on their own journey. We're all having our own challenges, our own individual successes, and we're all trying to find our way. There's things that's and blocks for each one of us individually. And so there's that commonality of the fact that we're all human and we're all seeking. And once I got really in touch with that and realized that that's what the group sessions were about, it became very easy to open up. I began to realize that it was that safe space that I could open up, I can share, and I'm learning from my fellow group members, and they're also learning from me. We're hearing how each person has is dealing with a challenging situation that may not be familiar, something I'm familiar with, or it may be very closely related to what I'm going through. And to hear someone else from a different perspective, how they're dealing with it, how they are shifting too as the program goes along, you're hearing how they're shifting. It really, the group sessions, I think, made it was definitely like that big benefit, the cherry on top, because you're not feeling like you're in a vacuum and you're not just you having life. Everybody is having life, and the support was tremendous. So I want to say thank you to all the fellow members that were in my group, because to hear them to congratulate me or celebrate me, and I celebrate them and congratulate them, that felt really good. It was more than just on the group call too. They stayed on my mind even beyond the group call, just wondering how things were going and wishing well for all of them. So I want to say thank you to my group, my fellow group ladies.
Oh, I'm having now nostalgia moment. Okay. Yes, and thank you for bringing that humanity in, and that's, I think, such a big topic, which is so important. How do we keep this balance between understanding, appreciating, and accepting our humanity, right? And at the same time, taking this inspired action and actually moving forward and having new challenges and having successes and sometimes not so much successes, right? And keep that humanity as a perspective, so we can just be kind to ourselves and be compassionate to ourselves as we move forward, because that's where a true transformational leadership begins. Unless we have this capacity to be in this perspective of being human to ourselves, we cannot actually cultivate it in our teams, and that we then cannot provide the safe space for them, and people will not open up, people will not be vulnerable. So I'm really touched that you shared that, Regina, and I just know that your team will be very lucky to have you because you have this at the level of your heart, of your mind, so it's really, really well integrated in who you are now.
Thank you. Thank you, Maria.
Mm-hmm. Uh, let's talk a little bit about the modules, right? So the program, so it has group coaching, it has individual coaching, and there is the work that you do on your own every week, right? In the
Yeah.
online environment. So how was that for you?
Oh, the modules. How they were really, really deep. They will dig deep into your pain spots, the areas that you have forgotten about, and the areas you don't talk about. Um, they will make you dig deep. And I remember crying many times, really just having to, I guess, like cleanse my soul or something, but just really digging deep. The modules make you think beyond just today. They make you really go back. I do remember one module made me have a memory of, I think I was about 4 or 5, and I shared it with you, Maria. I was at a birthday party, and the funny thing is, through the years, I'd have a little flash of that memory, but I never really understood what that moment had created inside of me. And the module brought the almost like the whole image pretty much back to life, so that I could look at it and see what hurt, what happened, um, and why that stuck with me for so long. And I realized through my life after that moment, um, any issue that looked like that moment, and it would bring up that same pain. And it was always an issue of, well, I've done this for you. Why aren't you doing that for me? So this issue of self-sacrifice, and not being able to say no, not having a no, or not having someone to support me. And that's been an area of like a tender area for me throughout my life. And with the modules, it made me realize that that's what I created, but now I get to create and be my boundary. I get to create boundaries now. I get to say no now. I get to be my support now. I get to identify the people that really are in my life that do support me and stand behind me, and not feel completely alone, and not allow that wounding to now be so alive that um, it's I can't function beyond it. I'm always responding from that space. So now that I'm more clear that that's what happened then, is not, it doesn't have to have the same effect today. If something happens, even if it looks like that I'm not supported, or I may have the sense that no one's in my corner, that's the feeling that I have, and not pretty much probably not the real reality of what's going on. So the modules will make you dig deep into that area, that wound, which is a blessing. And they will help, the modules will help you cleanse it, and really look at it, and break it down for what it was. It was a situation that happened at that time. Who you are now, you get to create a new strength and not be led just by that old wound. So the modules, they're tough. I'm going to tell you, they're tough, but they are so worth it. Once you complete it and get through it, you will almost instantly begin to see the shift. Really, you begin to see a shift that, wow, that's what's been, that area has been kind of holding me back in a lot of ways. And you'll change. You'll change.
Yes, and that I also can say that you were actually digging yourself pretty deep, because the models, they've just given you the framework, right? And then it's your choice how deep you would like to go with that, and how much healing do you want to do at the moment, right? If you want to at all, right? And so having that type of courage, having that type of vulnerability, not only to go through that, but also to share it, for example, now, right? It takes a lot. And thank you for sharing that. And as we go further in the program, right, there is this first part where we do look at some of that baggage that we still carry with ourselves, which we actually do not need so much these days, and we can actually acknowledge it and let it go. And as we move forward, we build this new understanding of who you are now, right? So where is that you are going? And then we're actually coming into the tools that help you to take smart actions and that help you to achieve the things that you really want to have and that you deserve to have. And so speaking of which, what is that for you moving forward, right? As you have been doing this amazing work now, moving forward, what are your plans, right? If you can share some of them. I know there are a lot of them and they're very inspiring. So some of the highlights, give us some preview. What is going to happen soon?
Okay. Well, some of my plans are to definitely pursue and achieve that management role. I know for sure that I'm going to have it. So my goals are to not only just pursue the management role, but to manage differently once I'm in the role. I realize how important it is to ask people questions from an area of curiosity and also to spark curiosity into that person versus just not listening. I almost feel like it's not listening. I've worked under several managers, and I often feel that maybe they don't know how to really connect with their employees on a more curious level, or they just are unaware of how to do so, or the importance of doing so. But I think that going into curiosity makes the person really reflect on, well, why am I wanting this? Why am I needing this? Or why am I responding this way? Or why am I feeling this way? And working in that area brings, I think, a more connection between the manager and the employee. It definitely will build a trust and a sense of support that is often missed with current management styles. So that's a goal for myself, and I also want to lead. I want to train. I want to teach. My goals also include traveling. I want to be in a role that allows me to travel domestically as well as internationally, leading teams and training, as I said, coaching and mentoring. I also want to further my passion in my interior design business and acquire 3 new clients per month. That is my goal. And it is a small business. I run it solely myself. So 3 new clients is a handful. But I love the work. I love the joy that it sparks inside myself. I love the creativity that I'm able to express through my work, and I feel I'm very good at it. And I've gotten a lot of compliments from previous clients, so I definitely want to grow there. I want to grow in my communication skills within my personal life, to speak more from a place of strength, to set good boundaries, even better boundaries. And I have some good boundaries, but I realize I could have create some better boundaries for myself, healthier and boundaries, and really stand in this space and not be afraid of, if someone doesn't agree, but realizing what's best for me. And this program has helped me to see that the boundaries are about what's best for me, what keeps me safe, but from a loving space, being healthy and loving. So right now, those are the top main ones. Trying to think if I left out anything else. I definitely want to travel. I love traveling, and I want to travel for leisure and for vacation. I want to do 4 to 6 international trips a year if I could.
That's a good goal.
It is. And to have the income that supports that lifestyle for myself. I'd like to be able to take my family maybe, once a year somewhere with me as well. That's important to me. Be able to spend more time with my family. having more control over my schedule, being able to work remotely if I choose to. And I know this sounds, you're probably gonna laugh at this one, but to no longer be on the first floor of any building. I want to be on the third floor. I want my own office, whatever company I work for. So that's a huge goal for me. It's something
Love
I
that.
have verbalized probably right before we started coaching. I started writing some things, and that was one of the things I've written down. I want my own office, and I want to be on the second or third floor and to be in that leadership role. So immediately, those are the goals that come to my mind. Oh, I know. I'd like to, um, in the area of romance or personal life, I would like to be in a place where I'm more open and ready for a romantic love relationship. I think that I definitely have some growing to do and some more self exploration. So may not be fully ready right now, but I can clearly see that because I am aware and I'm open to learning and growing in that area, that I definitely will be ready very soon. So that's an interest of me and of myself, and those are my goals. That's what I can think of right now.
And I think they're beautiful, and I like how they're very well balanced in many spheres of life, right? So it's really, really exciting. If you would share some words of wisdom with those people who are thinking about joining a program or hiring a coach, so what would you tell them?
Oh, words of wisdom. I can tell you right off the top of my head, if you're thinking about hiring a coach, if you're struggling in your life in any area, if you can identify that it's career, but I will tell you, if you're struggling in your career, you're probably struggling in other areas too. Do it. Get the coaching. It will help you see clear. It would help you drop the negativity, the negative thoughts that are running the show right now. It will stop you from driving your life while looking in the rearview mirror. So you're not driving facing backwards. You'll actually turn around and begin to drive facing forward, facing life, and having new tools and new processes and new ways of thinking and support. You'll have that safe space where you can express what's going on. Even in your confusion and your present way of thinking, coaching allows for that space for you to do that. And at the same time, it's now going to bring in that new way of thinking and a new perspective that you just couldn't see before. And I like that because the way we normally look at life and what's happening, we're thinking we're always right. And with coaching, I realize it's not a matter about being right or being wrong. It's a matter of let's really look at the whole big picture and get away from just your own thoughts, your own train of thoughts. So anyone thinking about coaching, do it. It will be the best investment and best gift for yourself. Look at it as a gift to yourself that will last for the rest of your life. And it is absolutely the best thing you can do for yourself. I totally agree and vote for coaching.
Oh, thank you so much, Regina. And we're actually almost in 2000. It's almost New Year Eve, I would say, right? So, like, 4 more days, and we're in 2020, amazing 2020. So, thank you from all my heart for being so present and vulnerable and open today, sharing your story, your journey, your insights. And so, if anyone would like to actually find you and find your assistance in helping them to transform their interior. So how do they find you? What is your project? How do they find your interior design project?
Okay, my business name is Milestone of Distinctive Interiors. Milestone of Distinctive Interiors. And my business phone number is 919-914-0123. If you want to reach me by email, my email address is milestoneinteriors, with an S on the end, milestoneinteriors@yahoo.com. So once again, my business phone number, 919-914-0123, and business email, milestoneinteriors@yahoo.com. And I do residential, I do office, I do business. I also do exterior. outdoor spaces. So it is, like I said, a passion of mine. I love it, and I'll be happy to discuss with a client what their goals are, what it is that they're seeking. I always have the ability to bring in their personality into the space, so it doesn't look just totally foreign when you walk into this new space, but it is absolutely has your personality. It is functional. It will be beautiful, and you will love it. I know for sure.
Yes, and you can, so the person can be located actually in every part of the world, from what I understand, right? So you can do it distantly.
I will. I'd be very happy to. Yes.
Okay. Yes. All right. Awesome. So exciting. Thank you so much again. Thank you everyone for watching. I hope you enjoyed the rest of your week, and have a very best holiday season and happy 2020. And we will talk soon. Bye bye.
Bye bye.